Reviews, discussions, and theories about films in horror, sci-fi, and genre. This is the Horror Deconstruction. Like, share, and subscribe to hear more.
Dexter Morgan is a crime scene technician who doubles as a serial killer of killers. After terrorizing criminals and one innocent photographer in Miami as the Bay Harbor Butcher for years, he lost his wife, co-workers, and even his sister due to his predilection of dark justice. He's faked his death after a hurricane to escape, and 10 years later is living a more simple life in upstate New York under the name Jim Lindsay. Dexter has a new girlfriend, Town Sheriff Angela Bishop. It's been a long time since Dexter has killed anyone, and replacing his voice of consciousness is now the visage of his dead sister, Deborah. It doesn't take long, though, for chaos to ensue when Dexter kills the corrupt son of a local diner owner who holds sway over the whole town. Concurrently, his son Harrison, whom he abandoned to keep safe, has returned and is fighting his own dark thoughts. The walls begin to close as Dexter's past is made known to Angela. Dexter attempts to kill a dealer, but does kill a supplier who made drugs that nearly killed Harrison. In the end, a final confrontation with Kurt, the diner owner, shows Dexter's true intentions. Kurt was also a serial killer, by the way. He does not convert his son to his ways, all the way though. After killing an innocent officer, Dexter tries to escape but is gunned down by Harrison, who goes back on the road to an unknown future, closing the book on Dexter Morgan. What's up, everybody? It's the Horror Deconstruction. You can find us where you can find us, which is mostly YouTube. We talk about horror, we talk about sci-fi, we talk about genre. Give us a like, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell icon, hit that thumbs up. Let people know about the show with Heroes Komp and
Vitamin D3.
And today we're going to be talking about
Dexter New Blood.
Dexter.
What? When did it come out? I don't. Oh, 2021.
Dexter New Blood, 2021 to 2022. Set 10 years after Dexter Morgan went missing in the eye of the Hurricane Laura, he is now living under an assumed name in upstate New York, Iron Lake, far from his original home in Miami, created by Clyde Phillips, who actually originally brought the book series to television. He did the first 4 seasons. Up to, John Lithgow's character.
Don't the books get all, weird and supernatural?
Oh, yeah. John Lithgow left... I mean, not John Lithgow. Once Clyde Phillips, who originally brought the first 4 seasons, he left the show, and then whatever happened to the series happened to the series that we saw. Ironically... Right. This is a little bit of just a remake of the final season. You know, when he had that little boy who was his apprentice, that he was teaching him to be a killer.
Was that Tom Hanks' son? No, that wasn't.
No, that was in the. That's when that guy had his own dark.
Yeah, but every season has him with an apprentice. The second season he has that British woman. He has that Jimmy Smits guy in the third season.
Well, this season stars Michael C. Hall as Dexter. He comes back after 10 years. Jack Alcott, Julia Jones as Angela Bishop, Johnny Sequoia as Audrey Bishop, Alano Miller, Jennifer Carpenter reprising a ghost Deborah, Clancy Brown, who you might know as Lex Luthor.
He's Mr. Krabs. Did you know that?
Yeah. You know what's funny? They had.
I never knew that. I mean, I know him. I know him from everything. I know SpongeBob. I just never knew he was Mr. Krabs.
I've never watched SpongeBob, but I saw there's this cute.
Oh, come
clip.
on! Are you kidding?
What do you want me to do? I don't watch Nickelodeon cartoons. So
it's a great show.
Oh, very good. I believe you. I'm sure.
Watch the
that's
first
why it's
3
still
seasons. They're solid.
But there was like a live action skit where they actually had all the voice actors. It was live action with them playing the characters, and Clancy Brown was playing Mr. Krabby Patty. It's pretty funny, or Mr. Krabby, whatever the hell he plays.
Mr. Krabs and his Krabby Patty. He makes Krabby Patty.
So
okay,
then,
go on.
Why did we pick Dexter New Butt to talk about?
I mean, we reviewed the whole fucking show.
Yes,
we might as well do the new season.
I guess this is officially the ending of Bay Harbor Bitching. Remember we used to do Bay Harbor Bitching? I think we... I did a video of...
That was a good name, Bay Harbor Bitching.
I remember us specifically recording an episode at the South Street Seaport once, because we were like, let's just get this episode over, and we just recorded it. And I think it totaled up to 4 or 5 hours, and there's an episode you can go through our archives if you want to listen to us just talk 6 hours.
Did we talk for 5 hours?
No. I compiled all of the episodes we did about Dexter into one thing. Okay. I think we did it episode by episode. We were like,
God, if anybody's dying of, COVID, they have a ventilation thing, they should listen to that and just die.
Yeah. Or if you want to cure sleep. Anyway, so this is obviously the revisitation of the Dexter character. Well, funny thing is, because there was obviously, like we were talking about, Clyde Phillips brought it's a book series by, I'm like running everywhere.
Oh, guys, there's going to be 8 million spoilers, you know. So
yeah. So Jeff Lindsay wrote the Dexter novels. I actually listened to all the audiobooks. I don't have time.
Is that
to
where
read
the
books.
name Jim Lindsay came from, maybe?
Yes. No. Okay. It was completely made up. They just thought about it, and it happened to be the guy's name. So Jeff Lindsay wrote these series of books about Dexter. It was a book. It was 7 books. No, it was. I'm sorry, 8 books. Like the first one was Dexter's Dreaming, and then Dexter whatever. It was always like a de-alliteration until Dexter Final Cut, and then Dexter is Dead, which was the final book, which kills him off in the book series. Spoilers for the books. Very weird ending for the books. I think he ended the book right before the final season. The books went a completely different path. The first season pretty much covered the first book pretty good.
Do you like the books better than the show?
I guess I always like reading like books. Sometimes I like to read books, you know, based on television shows, so you can kind of get a little bit more from it. Like I can recommend, if you saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood by Quentin Tarantino, he actually released a book based on it, and you get into more depth of the characters and stuff like that. And it's funny because once you like, if you watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, you like Brad Pitt. He's like this kind of charming lunkhead kind of character, and then when you hear you read the book, he's like an absolute psychopath. He's like a fucking serial killer psychopath, and you're like, what the hell? This isn't like, it changes your idea of what the character is. But with Dexter, in the 3rd book, it became some supernatural shit that was like, the Dark Passenger was actually like an old demon that controlled him. And I was like, oh, brother. And then once Jeff Lindsay saw...
Yeah, I don't know if I like that.
Nah, it's pretty terrible. Once Jeff Lindsay saw all the like people who were like, what the fuck is this? He completely dropped it from the book. And it was more back to whatever happened. I don't think he talks to a phantom version of his friends like he does in this. Like he talks to Harry or he talks to Deborah in this one. Anyway, so the finale of that book series... sorry to spoil it. Dexter ends up he kills some weird Miami drug dealer. He ends up on a boat and he sinks into the bottom of the sea, and that's it. And also his brother, who was the killer in the first season, like
the ice cream killer,
the ice cream truck killer. His name was something else. In the
something
book.
Like that.
His brother actually survives the first. His brother's alive up until the last book. Like he lets him go, but I guess because they want to make Dexter a hero, they let him survive or something. Because he
kind of is a hero, sort of, a little bit.
In the first book, he kills. The brother kills. Who's that? You hated that her too, right? That Latina chief of police, whatever her name was. That she
Did
like.
I hate her?
I don't know. A lot of people hated her. I liked her. I thought she was fine, you know. But anyway, yeah. So the brother was alive in the books.
I remember my feelings, to be honest. So.
And his brother dies in the last book and all that shit. But anyway, the books were completely different. They went. Dokes was alive in the books. He lived right through to the last book. So
so he doesn't get framed.
No, and I tell you, just seeing like they showed a very short 2-second clip of Dokes here, and I was like, fuck, man, like that was my favorite character on the show. Dokes was like the greatest character.
He was awesome. He was just very funny.
But the thing is, the actual smart writing is that he found out who this fucking guy is, and that was it. Like, you got to kill him. You have to kill the character because he would catch Dexter, unless he got hit on the head with like a fucking coconut and forgot everything, which would have been very funny if they did that. But
every season, Dexter makes a trip to some hospital and hits him in the head again to make him forget.
And they do a very comical Gilligan's Island sound effect of a fucking coconut right on his head. He goes, "Surprise, mother!" Dunk, and he says, "Who are you?" Anyway. So
Where
back to
am
I? Who am I? Back to this series. So Dexter is the reason why Dexter did not die. Remember the series finale where he became a lumberjack, and people were like, "What the hell kind of ending is that?" It was supposed to be some sort of purgatorial ending, you know, where he's just sort of there sitting there and he looks like blank-eyed. And I remember watching that, going, "Oh no! Like what is this?" Like. I remember
being pretty disappointed overall with the last couple seasons.
I have a very tenuous relationship with vigilante characters. Like, I like them. I appreciate them when they kill bad guys and stuff like that. But if you kill even one innocent person, I don't like you anymore. And Dexter
then he's off the list for a while now.
Dexter killed an innocent photographer because the photographer took these really nice photos of, like, morbid, like, girls dead. I forgot which season was. He kills them, and then the women happen to be killed later on, And he was like, "Why did you do this?" And he has him all tied up on the bed. And the guys, they were asking for it, not knowing what the guy. He's thinking Dexter's asking him, "Why'd you take the photos?" He was just taking the photos.
Oh, but that was an accident, though. He didn't kill an innocent person for his own agenda, like the way he killed the chief of police or something.
But he still killed the guy. He just killed the guy that had nothing to do with killing him.
Yeah, I know, but he didn't. He thought he was bad, at least.
Well,
at least
then
you could say that.
He should have done his fucking math. That's what I think. That pissed me off. The same thing happened with Punisher Warzone. You don't have the Punisher kill an innocent guy. Punisher killed an innocent guy in the movie, and I felt like bummy about that. I need to have elite Ubermensch that knows what they're doing. Anyway, so the reason why they didn't kill Dexter in the first season is because Showtime was like, don't kill off Dexter because we always want to bring him back. You know, we need to make money. Don't kill him off. Don't kill him off. And Michael C. Hall was just fucking sick of playing the character forever, and that's kind of all he did. He didn't really do anything else.
Also, he had cancer.
That's true, yeah, and also like I think he was married to Deborah, and they divorced, and they came back to the final couple seasons, and I guess they had to I'll show you this. That's like can you imagine working with your ex, like not just an ex-girlfriend but an ex-wife, and you have to you're an actor, so
well maybe they got along. I don't know.
I guess so. It could have been all that money. So, Dexter was not, he wasn't anything really mainstream. He was in Hedwig and the Angry Inch. He's a very capable actor, especially when you see him in other movies. But
Didn't he start in 6 Feet Under?
Yeah, and everybody loves that show. Never saw the show. I saw the last 10 minutes.
Depressing as hell. Hey, we should talk about Dexter New Blood.
Okay, so Danny,
we haven't.
Tell us, what is this new Dexter's New Butt all about?
Okay, so it started, he's living in upstate New York, I believe it is.
I was surprised until I found out at the very end that it was in New York. I had no idea. I thought he was in the...
I always thought it was Washington at the end, but whatever. So he's living in upstate New York. He's, got a whole new name and shit. He's dating the chief of police. And there's this obnoxious fucking rich kid that... he hasn't killed anybody in, 10 years. And I guess the first episode is when Harrison comes, his son.
Yeah. Does
the math add up of that? Because I feel like they said Harrison was 16, and there's no way he was 6 at the end of...
Yeah, it seems like he was 4 or 3 or something at the end of that show.
Wasn't he a fucking baby? I don't...
No,
it's been so long.
I remember one episode where he got in an accident on a treadmill. And they had a horrible stunt of a kid on a treadmill, and he turns it on by mistake, and then it turns to a full-grown adult when he falls down, and then it turns back into a kid It reminded me of The Gate when the kid is climbing up these stairs, and then they do a POV shot, and he is suddenly this 5-foot kid has 6-foot man log legs going down the staircase in POV. So yeah,
you're making me want to watch that show, that movie.
The Gate is fantastic. Go see The Gate, people. But anyway, yeah. So he had to be 3 or 4, and then Dexter was like, "No, you gotta leave with Hannah." He just lets him leave with Hannah, and I'm like, why'd you leave him with a woman that was a fucking serial killer? I guess he saw.
Yeah, but she's nice. She was a good
hot.
person.
I don't think she was a good. She was poisoning.
She was hot. Yeah, she was.
No, but she was poisoning innocent people too. So it wasn't like she was.
Yeah, I know, but she wasn't it wasn't the same. I feel like she had a motive. Wasn't the husband an asshole or something? I forget.
No, she was killing anyway.
Listen,
guess if they're hot enough, right? You can. Yeah, I know some of this. But anyway, he's. Do you think there was some sort of commentary between Miami police and New York police, East and Western? Because everybody here is way more competent than it took 7 years for them to be competent over in Florida. I guess because.
Well, I don't think it's that they're more competent. I think it's that Dexter is rusty.
Oh, it could be, yeah.
Also, he's stupid. He's pushing his luck. Why would you date a fucking chief of police?
So it's pretty. She's a beautiful young actress named Julia Jones.
Oh God! I was looking at her. She's super hot. I mean, sure, but you're gonna get in a relationship with the chief of police.
He probably thought that he was basically an officer in the first season, so he knew everything 10 steps ahead. And dating the chief is probably easier to know more about.
Yeah, but if you take a vow not to kill anymore, you're not gonna kill anymore. Then date a fucking cashier or something. Don't get involved with somebody who's going to investigate you and know that you did something.
He liked having the research, so I'm sure it was fine that he was in the cut. So
yeah, but that's his own fault. It's his own stupidity.
And it was weird because I saw his girlfriend. I'm looking at because I believe she's Native American. I'm not sure. Her character was certainly Native American, or because they kept telling her she was part of 2 worlds, and because there was a section of people that lived on the other side that were all Native Americans, and they have, and they're always asking her, you know what two worlds you're part of. But I was like, who the hell do I know this woman's face from? Like, 'cause she's a
She was
very
in the vampire movies, right? With the glitter and all that shit. They sparkle in the daylight.
No, what I remember is I was looking from where she was, and it said she was in The Mandalorian. You know, the really horrible third episode where the Mandalorian had to train a town to kill whatever aliens were invading. She was the mother with the little girl.
Aliens were invading? What are you talking about?
Once I saw her, I was like, oh yeah. I was like, okay, because that episode was so bad.
There are no bad episodes of The Mandalorian. It's perfect.
Okay, it was so predictable. It's like the Mandalorian came into it was the three amigos. Mandalorian came into a town that kept getting attacked. He trained everybody to attack the whatever who was attacking him, and then that's what it was. It was Bryce Dallas Howard.
What did they get? They were getting attacked by the AT-AT thing.
I don't remember. Whatever. It was. I didn't hate that episode. It was a good show. Anyway, so yeah, he's dating her. She has a daughter from. I guess she adopted this daughter who was abandoned. I like kind of spaced out when she was talking about the parents of this young girl played by Johnny Sequoia.
I think the parents abandoned her, so she adopted her.
I felt bad because I looked at Johnny Sequoia, and she reminds me of. She looks like a young. And I'm not talking about Johnny Sequoia herself. She just has the same sort of eye shape as Demi Lovato. And I gotta warn you people, like Demi Lovato, like I gotta call them they now. But I think like Demi Lovato had like a lot of drug problems, and and they used to be the hottest like girl on the planet. But now they're like an activist. Now they're
all methed out.
Now they're now they have their shit together, I guess. But they're one of these people that say
I don't even know who that is.
Demi Lovato. Just look up Demi Lovato. You'll be like, oh okay. But anyway, they're this type of person now that says you shouldn't call aliens because that's racist.
Oh come on!
I used to worship this
like
person.
Aliens, like green fucking
like yes,
people
aliens.
From Mars?
Well, that would be racist. Now she says that
is it?
You should go. That's according to this person. Excuse me if I misgendered her.
I have no idea who this is.
Them.
I don't recognize their face.
And it's very hard because two worlds of Demi Lovato. Anyway, so back to the show. Harrison comes back. Harrison Morgan, like you said, he looks like he aged 2 years. Maybe Living on the Run ages you pretty quick. The reason I was like, why do I know this actor like Jack Alcott? He's very good in the show. I think he's actually pretty good. He's playing.
He honestly looks like Dexter's blood relative. It's pretty weird.
Yeah. The weird thing is, I was like, why do I know this guy's like? How do I know this guy's face? I've never seen him in anything, but he looks exactly.
Is he the original actor from the other one?
No, I don't think so. But he looks exactly like the Dexter's young apprentice from the final season, the one who was like trying to be his follow his rules. So he looks exactly like that.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah, there was a part when there was a woman who taught Harry.
Yeah, I remember the woman, the British woman.
And so they had this young kid with them. He was troubled, and Dexter started teaching him how to be a killer until one of the bad guys from there fucking opened his brains up and killed him. So like it was supposed to be shocking about that happening. Anyway, so we also have Logan, who is the
he's Wolverine.
Yes, he dies in the field protecting a young girl. No, he's like a gym coach. He's one of the new characters. I
liked him.
Yeah, I liked him too because he was actually a very nice guy, and thankfully he got laid before he got killed at the finale. Fucking racist Dexter had to kill one more. That was his last kill as an African American man. I think Dexter was like losing it. He's racist.
I was glad. He deserved to die at the end. You know,
Logan,
was an asshole. Oh. No. Dexter.
Yeah, that's one of those moments. Imagine that you just go 20 minutes talking about Logan.
I just don't like on a white supremacy rant or something.
But yeah, because you can't have somebody turn like because we're supposed to be rooting for Dexter supposedly in the series. And you have to have a sacrificial lamb, and Logan unfortunately was that sacrificial lamb because he was the nicest.
He was being very selfish. I mean, I guess Dexter, obviously, is like a sociopath. He's always been selfish, but like the last few episodes is like, oh man, he actually is like an asshole.
Yeah, because he's felt the walls closing around him, and then he has a son now and stuff like that. But I've been waiting for Dexter. I wanted Dexter dead as soon as he killed that photographer character from the last season, from the whatever season it was. So, like, it felt like a huge, big, like, 10-year wait for this to happen because people did not like that ending. And I think Michael C. Hall was like, let's just finish the series. Let's give it a proper ending, which I'm glad for.
Is it finished, though? I heard rumors that they're going to come back with a Harrison season.
So here's the thing. It's like this show got its highest ratings ever for Showtime. So I bet you Michael C. Hall's like, oh fucking shit, like in his house.
I don't know if I told you my really funny idea for what their sequel could be.
Go ahead.
But say it's like 20, it'll be next year or whatever, but it'll be like 20 years later, and it'll be Harrison, but he'll be played by Michael C. Hall. And his dark passenger will be Dexter, Michael C. Hall.
That'd be great. He's just talking to himself the whole time. Oh my god, I'd watch that. You know how many people would watch that show?
And like Dexter, the dark passenger, is like, now Harrison, and then like Michael C. Hall is like, okay, Dad, like blah blah blah.
And the only difference is one Dexter's shaved and the other one isn't. Oh my god, that's funny.
Yeah, right. Right. It's like funny. A little tiny different. One of them's wearing like a funny hat or something, and that's it.
That's great. That's a great. You should pitch that to Showtime. They'll probably be like, "This motherfucker's a genius." But anyway,
I was telling my friend about that. I thought it was very funny.
That's funny. So they bring in the top villain for this season would be the always great Clancy Brown, who's playing Kurt Caldwell. He's the father. But going back, the first guy that Dexter kills in this season, because he gives into his dark past.
Matt Caldwell.
I really don't know who the Dark Passenger is, because watching the old series, I always thought that the Dark Passenger was Harry, because Harry would always tell him.
No,
I know,
Harry's
I guess
like
it's
his
somebody
conscious.
else. So,
the Dark Passenger is just him being crazy. Harry was just like his conscious, basically.
They should have made the Dark Passenger like the books. It's just a character that looks like Spawn that comes out, yes, do it, and it's just like badly.
It looks like the Vindicator? Was that what he was called?
The Violator. There was a character named the Vindicator, though. I think there was one of the other ones too. So anyway, so he kills the son. You know what's funny, Danny? I thought you looked like the son in the show, but with like long hairs. He looked just like you.
He looked like that Martin Schreckle guy from Pharma Bro, dude. Remember that?
The one who owes like $69 million now to the guy, Pharma Bro. That's who you're talking about. If you Google this guy, Pharma Bro, he was really rich, and he would like up the prices of a life-saving medicine.
He'll be fine though. People like that are always fine because
I think he rose the price by 300%, and then he bought Wu-Tang's album that nobody else could hear, and so they seized it, and he's in jail. But anyway, you look, because there's a part, this guy like overacts so poorly in the first episode. He's like, Dexter ties him up, but he goes, "When my dad finds you out, he's gonna rain down on you, man." And I was like, oof. I liked him. I didn't like the character. I just liked how he was. But it was funny. He screwed over that.
I was definitely rooting for him to die.
He also screwed over that other kid who had the scar. Remember the one who got fucked up in the boat? He got $2,000 a month. Now he's not gonna have no $2,000 a month. He killed father and son. But anyway, Clancy Brown, fantastic actor. I remember the first time I ever saw Clancy Brown, he was in Pet Sematary 2. I've only seen one scene from Pet Sematary 2.
That motorcycle scene, remember
that?
Right,
that's the first thing I saw, because they cut it off on television. He like puts the wheel of the running motorcycle over this kid's face and goes, whoops! Like, I love that part. But Clancy Brown is great. He's just always great. And
he's really good at being like a fucking creep.
Yeah. He just seems like a cool ass dude. Because I always listen to podcasts whenever Clancy Brown's on. He's just one of those actors where you can rely on. He's never gonna fuck it up.
I'm guessing he's like really tall. I wonder.
He looks like an evil man, but he seems like a pretty cool guy. But he's in a movie called The Mortuary Collection on Shudder. I think that they say it's really good, so we should check that out. But there's a scene in this. There's a funny thing in this episode. Of course, I'm sure this episode stuck out to you. The Skylar Wright, who plays the green-haired girl. One of the girls that he kidnaps. Because he's like a serial killer that puts him in this room, and he has like cameras up at the top that watches.
Is that the one that shows her boobs to try to have sex with him, like to trick him or whatever?
Right. They should have called it. How he played Lex Luthor. I'm sure if he watched it any longer, he'd be Erect Luthor. But anyway, the funny thing about that actress, she was like, "Boy, I don't know why my character's so popular in the show."
Really?
She says that, come on, man. She pulls her top off in the show. Like, this is, I was like, you kidding me?
She is very hot.
She is a super beautiful girl named Skylar Wright.
I felt bad for her.
Me too. You know what a really attractive
But I mean, the
person
good
has?
thing is at least he's not like a rapist. He just shoots.
Yeah,
them.
that's
I mean,
good.
not that that's good, but it's better than rape.
Imagine it'd be funny like when he goes no no when he's looking at the because she's like taking her top off and he's like it shows a shot of him going no no imagine he said no no I'm gay.
You know what I was wondering. I would be curious to know, but obviously, there's no way to know because it's a fictional character. But I mean, theoretically, if they were happy to be there and made no attempt to leave or anything, would he be happy with that? Because he kind of implied that.
Yeah, because he was trying because of his dad being an abuser of like lounge lizards or lot lizards. I guess that was like the street prostitutes for truckers.
Is that what they call them?
He was trying to protect. Yeah, he was protecting them in some weird righteous way by keeping them young forever and hidden away, which is fucking stupid.
Yeah, so theoretically, if one of them was like, "Oh, perfect, thank you," and stayed in this locked room with no,
but that's
qualms,
like his character is based on a real guy that did that. I think it's Robert Hansen. He would abduct, raped, and murdered 17 women around Anchorage, Alaska. He did this Alaska. He actually would set them loose and hunt them down, just like this guy did. So he was a real fuckface, and eventually they caught him. But it took 17 women for him to fucking get killed for that douchebag to get caught. Anyway, so Clancy Brown's great. He's a fantastic actor, and he's great in the show. The rest of Dexter's sort of ancillary characters, they try to make a Vince Masoka character with that goofy Teddy Reed, the guy with the mustache, and it's nothing against that.
Which one is
he? He was one of the cops. One of the cops in the station. The guy with the mustache.
Oh, he's the new one. He was the new one.
Yeah, like him and the woman who was the, what do you call it? Like a receptionist.
Yeah.
They try to make them goofy characters. I like it was pretty inclusive because there was
a lot of filler. There was a lot of filler in the season.
Yeah. I think the show could have been half the series. You know what I mean? Because I wanted to actually
at least taken out 2 full episodes, is my opinion.
Yeah, because all the shit they did with other characters, they didn't really give a rat's ass. I could have learned more about Logan. I mean, you do end up liking Logan at the end, but you don't because it's with the original series of Dexter, they try to give character building moments by they gave Masuka a daughter for some reason in the final season. What? Because they try to humanize Masuka.
That super hot daughter. I remember that.
Yeah. If you want to see her in that vampire movie, that terrible vampire movie that we saw. But yeah, so they have sort of characters that don't matter. They have his high school friends Audrey and Scott and Zach, and you just
the bully guys and stuff.
Yeah, I really don't care. I was really pissed at the son too. He essentially fucked up that kid's life. The kid who was an artist who liked anime and manga and was drawing.
Yeah, but that kid was going to do a school shooting.
No, he wasn't. He framed him. He just had feeling.
He exposed him before he could do it for his own benefit. No, he was going to do it.
No, he wasn't. He framed him. The kid just drew it. He wasn't going to do it.
Are you sure?
He took the he explained he took the opportunity at the end just to get away with it to feel like a hero. Because the kid was thanking him. He's like, "You want to check these out?" I don't know whether the kid was going to do it or not.
I got the impression the kid was going to do it.
No, once Dexter's son protected them from the bullies, then he was sort of "Oh, you want to see this cool art?" He showed it to him, and then he was unless he was a fucking precog from Minority Report, he framed the kid because he slashed the kid first. He's the one that.
I mean, no matter what, that was mean.
But maybe the parents.
But at least he has the excuse of being 16, and I don't think he's as bad as Dexter because he seems more capable of love and shit. I really was very sad that he had to leave the daughter, what's her name, Audrey. I was very sad about that.
Yeah, his life was over though because once Dexter was dead, that's over. But
why? He could have stayed.
No, that whole town is gonna be your dad is a fucking serial killer. That's not gonna. Be
that's true. That's true.
But imagine he tries to correct him. He goes, no, he was a serial chiller. He chilled with people. They go, oh, okay, let's go to a party.
Yeah, but I think he would have still been able to maintain a relationship with that family. They liked him.
What'd you think of Deborah as his dark passenger?
I like that. I was glad they brought her back.
I was glad to see her. I did not like the Looney Tunes shit they did with her. They did some weird cartoony shit with her. It was stupid because Harry was never hey, and then Harry would do a song and dance and shit. And she's doing that here. They try to do horror stuff in here with it. There's a part where he goes ice fishing and then like she jumps out of the water, and some sort of like faceless gray creature grabs her, and it was the cheapest shit. I was like, this is stupid. Stop trying to make
a little
it
silliness, but I mean, also this is like his hallucination.
I know, I get it, but it's not framed good. It's like shitty framing, and it just looks shitty. And like, there's a part where she's like, "You want everybody to be your hero," and then it cut to like 50 versions of Deborah holding up signs like "We love you, Dexter." And I was like, get rid of this cartoon shit. Stop this. This isn't what the show is. It was never like this, you know. Like when he had his fantasies.
Well, it's a completely different feeling version. I mean, it was
and
always in Miami. Would people like?
It would have been great.
Hawaiian
It would have been great if Dexter, if after season 4, it was this season. Because I think the show would have worked instead of getting like stagnant, the original series. If he did this, if he just jumped from town to town playing a different character. There's a show that people like really love called You on Netflix, and it's essentially Dexter, but like a more romantic one about this guy who's like obsessed with women. It's so funny that women love a show about a guy who's like essentially kidnapping and killing women because they don't love him. So go figure that out. But like people love that show, and that's about a guy who's like jumping from town to town.
Is he really hot? Is that what it is?
Yeah, he's a handsome guy, of course, and
so it's the same thing as how I think that what's her face is okay because she's hot.
Yeah, of course, you don't care. When somebody could be attractive, listen, who's that asshole that was killing women and having sex with the dead bodies? To the Republican guy, the serial killer, the most famous, like Ted Bundy. Women love that guy, and even after a lot of people thought fucking the Night Stalker was sexy.
What the fuck is wrong with people?
Remember that lady? But remember that woman who killed her little daughter, from Florida, and she got away with it. Like, she's super hot.
She drowned them, right, in the car.
No, that was a different lady. This lady was a completely different. Like, she's like one of those hot Miami girls. And you're like, yeah. You got no kids? Okay. I don't care. It's like one of those people just find him sexy, so they don't give a flying fuck about it. What were things that didn't work for you for the show?
There's a lot of filler. It
I felt like it, right.
I really do feel like it was 8 episodes. Could have been 6 episodes. I really feel that.
Yeah, the change of scenery really worked, though. I really like the change of scenery with the show, and like this cold New York setting. There was always these people that want to make a Friday the 13th in the snow, and I was like, yeah, that would be fucking great. You know, like I would love to see a Jason movie in the snow.
Yeah. Snow is this kind of frozen town. It's a little depressing. It kind of goes with the vibe.
Yeah. Did you like Batista's little return? I like that he got a little bit of closure. We don't see the actual closure, but he was like, he had a 10-year-old file of his wife's his ex-wife. I don't know.
I was happy that what's his face, who we said earlier, the one that got framed for being the Bay Harbor Butcher. He's no longer, like, his record is clean now.
Yeah, because he always had doubts, but there's no podcast to make about it. That also reminds me, Jamie Chung is here, who plays the sort of snarky podcaster. You see a lot of these characters now in these movies. A podcaster who does all these new horror shows always have a podcaster. The first time I saw it, I think it's been done.
Well, they're always going to be the journalist now.
Right,
that's cool.
and I like that type of character, actually. And the first time I saw them, they made Scream the television show, and they had a character who was a podcaster. I was like, oh shit, I haven't seen that before. So I liked her character. She's a bit of an asshole, but that's fine.
She's annoying. She's a little narcissistic, but that's kind of what you need to be a podcaster like that, I guess.
Jamie Chung is also hot. I remember, you know how Jamie Chung got her start in the business was in fucking MTV's Real World. I used to watch Real World when I was very young.
Real World? Which one?
I don't know. Real World fucking Mars. It was one of them in Florida or something. And she was on it. Madonna mia. Holy mackerel. You could not see a hotter... I'm telling you, you couldn't see a hotter girl than Jamie Chung in that show. And I was happy that she got into acting. You know what I mean?
Real World was like the first reality show, I think, right?
Yeah, she was in one of the later seasons, obviously. But I'm glad that she got a career out of it, because then she was also in that HBO series about like racists, the racist South dealing with H.P. Lovecraft shit. I forgot what the name of it. Oh, Lovecraft County.
Lovecraft Country or something?
She's
a good actress, so cool.
She is. She's actually good. So, but MTV, like Lady Gaga wasn't an MTV show. She was on an MTV prank show before she became famous. So that lets you know most of MTV is full of shit. But who watches MTV anymore? But yes, good to see Jamie Chung. I didn't necessarily want her to die, but I wanted more body count in the series. But when she did die, I was like, oh, that was a good reveal. Like when they showed her dead, I was like, I wasn't expecting her to be dead because she was sort of far away.
I kind of thought she might have, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah, because
but there is like a bit of a plot hole. I mean, a little bit.
Go ahead. What happened?
I mean, okay, so
she's not dating me. That's the plot hole.
Angela, is that her? The police chief. she figures out that fucking Dexter is the guy, he's a serial killer, blah, blah, blah. She figures all that out, but, like, you have Kurt ripping apart a place in the span of, like, a day, and you still you're not investigating that more. Like, she kind of lets
What do you mean
it go
Kurt
at
is
one
ripping
point.
apart a place?
Remember when Dexter followed the podcaster to with Kurt and then like and then that place was like completely torn apart like the next day.
Oh, I see.
Like,
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think they were still.
She should have like
investigating
kept on that a little more, like
It
fucking
just-
put a watch on him or something. You know?
I gotta be honest, that it was driving me nuts that she was kept keeping everything to herself. Like she was like,
Yeah.
oh, so that's not really your name, and I'm dating you. Okay, I'll just leave that alone. He's like, it's not really illegal to fake your death. I was like, I think that's illegal. I'm not sure. Like, I don't know where that logic comes from.
I don't know.
I don't know. You tried it, Danny? You come back and
I'm
I'm gonna see you come back with a daishiki and a tan.
It's in the works.
So so like I was just like, damn woman, just fucking tell somebody, right? So when she actually arrested him when Logan came, I was like, oh, thank God that somebody else knew, because I was very worried that this series would have ended with him, getting away again after killing her after she knew all that shit, not saying anything to anyone. Like Kurt fucked
I'm
him.
happy it did. I'm happy he died.
I like that Kurt fucked them just like what's his name?
Lithgow.
The Lithgow did it. You know what I mean? And then Lithgow came back for I'm sure $100,000 just to do that scene of him point of view over the top shot, because that wasn't in the original. show.
I didn't know if that was a new scene.
No, that was a new clip. I read it in the news and stuff like that. But Kurt really fucked them by putting in that bone, whatever that shit is, the titanium knee stuff.
Yeah, but also that thing was not like conclusive. Like it was burned in a fire, so it doesn't have any DNA on it. It could have been Kurt had both of them and just put it in there.
She was smart enough to do the thing about the injection in the neck. The Bay Harbor Butcher. Yeah. She actually did cop work, which I liked. I'm glad that guy actually talked about getting stabbed in the neck, because that would have been the first thing I said. I was like, listen, this motherfucker just stabbed me in the neck. But
did they not know? Did they not see that back in when the Bay Harbor Butcher shit? They didn't.
Yeah, it was circle. Yeah, it was. They just thought that Dokes did it. That's all.
Oh, okay.
So I guess they solved that. I assume that from there they're gonna think that.
Been
that's
so many
Harbor
years.
Butcher.
I kind of want to watch the first few seasons again.
No fucking way. I'm done with this show. This is done unless they come up with Dexter.
Unless they do my idea. Where
your idea
Michael
would be
C.
great.
Hall playing Harrison.
So when Angel Batista comes in, he gives the most milky, cheesy fucking advice to this lady. He's like, first you find the reason, then you know the motive. I was like, oh really? No shit. Wow, no crap. You should be fucking a scholar telling me this. Dumbass. The only reason he helped is because he said Harrison. That's it. That's the only help that he did with the show, because he gives some sort of bullshit advice. It's almost like me saying, hey, before you go outside, put on some shoes. It's like, what? Everybody knows what the fuck that means, you dumbass. What are you talking about?
Before your feet get too cold, you might want to put on an extra layer of socks.
Oh my god! Did you come up with that? We gotta write that down.
If you're feeling hungry, try eating some food.
Why don't we get two tablets and write 10 of those on it, and then come down from a mountain? Let's show that to the people. They'll love it.
Yeah.
They found a way to. I didn't know this, but they included a scene from the books about that clown. They completely visually ripped off the Joker for this part, where a guy's like putting his makeup on the mirror. I was like, why does this look? Suddenly it was like the most gorgeous looking shot from the Joker. It's the Joker shot. It was like this guy who was a clown who molested kids while they were passed out. They just had, but he was so over the top. He was like a clown going,
but I thought it was a retelling. Dexter's telling a story and Harrison is imagining it. So I'm imagining that it's kind of like cartoony.
I did like when
16-year-old.
I liked when he talked to the screen in those parts. Like I was like, oh, this should have been the original show. Like him just talking to the television shit.
I mean, we had
the voiceovers.
I think it was supposed to be funny. Like
In the Dexter way. Yeah, it's very funny. But it's very much I was sarcasm. It was very much a rip off of the Joker, and I was like, oh boy, like whatever. It looked nice though. But
I don't know. I didn't mind. I mean, it's a clown. And,
you think if you're a clown, the clown has photos of kids sleeping. You think he would have like photos of their butts or something? Just some creep going, yeah, looking at his photo, go, ooh, and I was like, what the hell is this shit? So now Dexter, Michael C. Hall, now he's in a rock band. He does techno rock music.
Really?
Yeah. It's called Princess Goes to the Butterfly Museum. And
is it good? That side indicates probably not.
No, I like electronica and electronica rock. And there's good beats, but he's one of those singers. I think he's like a nutty actor. Well, obviously he is a nutty actor. Well, I'm assuming, allegedly. But it's like one of those techno songs. Like, you know how like a techno song is, it has a form where they'll be like, the world is mine, and then like they'll say like a phrase, and then the song just goes on, and then it'll go back to it. I just made like $100 million hit. But anyway, with him, he goes on like monologues.
The world is mine.
No, it goes. But he'll be like, you walk in a stance, you go into the tree, and it's just like he's talking. I'm like, hold on, motherfucker, let the beat go so I can hear the song. He's talking for like 20 minutes in the song. I'm like, what the hell is this shit? So, I mean,
it's poetry techno.
And it's funny because, like, you can see their videos on YouTube. It's called Princess Goes to the Butterfly Museum. I don't know why that name stuck with me. I thought it was a horrible name, but now I know what the phrase is. And they're, like, the cheapest music videos. Like, they make them for, like, $5. Like, it's like, don't you have enough money to hire, like, a good, like, camera guy to do these? But I guess, you know, they probably see this guy and be like, listen, it's going to be $100,000 to do this music video. But go check it out. I'm still on the fence of it. Right now, I'm not feeling the music.
I'll give it a look. Okay, so what's our rating for this show? Or is there anything else we need to say?
No, I don't think there's really anything else. They shoved in a Puerto Rican character.
Do you think it's a money grab?
There was one more thing. Giselle Jimenez, good for having a Puerto Rican character, but of course she had to drop Spanish language every 5 seconds to make sure that you knew she was Puerto Rican. I don't think this was the greatest. I certainly think it was better than the last 100,000 seasons of Dexter. I appreciated that. I appreciated that they gave closure to the series. I think it could have been shorter. I think they could have done a little bit more. They could have had a lot more danger in it. Like, I would have had him killed more innocent people. I would, like, when he killed that meth dealer, I would have been like, fine if that was like the roommate of the meth dealer. You know what I mean? And then he would be like, oh fuck, so he has to do something else. Like, they need to put these characters more in danger. I know you're supposed to. They want you to hate Dexter by the end of the season because he's like, his son is like, oh, think about all the people you died. He's been on the run for 20 years. Suddenly he's gonna be like, oh yeah, you're right. Oh okay, yeah, go shoot me in the heart. And the way he shot him was like, I don't know how they filmed that, but it did not look like the guy pulled the trigger. He just put the gun down and Dexter was already killed. Do I find it satisfying how Dexter died? I'm not sure. I didn't really find he should have been like way worse. Like,
did you have a boner?
All the time, but I think that, like, to me, the ultimate way a bad guy's been killed in a series or a movie usually is like The Devil's Rejects. Remember how that ending was? It was like this beautiful sort of fantastic.
Oh yeah.
But they came back for a sequel called The Three from Hell, which completely just shit on that other movie, and I refuse I don't feel like watching
it.
Yeah, that's what I say too. Thank you. We're in unison on that. But yeah, this felt sort of like, a lot of people were upset that this felt more like a filler, and they were upset that Harrison killed his dad. I don't know how Dexter thought by saving his son is like, hey, yeah, you know, you can have a normal life. Why don't you just kill me first? Then you'll have a normal life. What? You're gonna have your son kill you stupid asshole? Kill yourself. Like, why would you have your son? You want your son, he wanted his son to be like him. He wanted his son to be a killer also. But that is not a way to have your son fucking shoot you to death. Like, that is not, you know what I mean? But I guess he's
I hope that if I ever have a son, it will go down like that.
I think everybody does. So, yeah, I think, for me, it felt like closure. Like, I was like, oh, you know, after that finale where Showtime was like, no, you can't kill him. And then they're like, okay, now you can kill him. But now the ratings are back, and they're going to do your idea for a season. I think it ultimately worked. What did you think?
I liked it. I have a friend who hated it and thought it was a complete money grab. I don't agree. I'm happy. I felt closure. It's not as good as it could have been. But
was your friend being racist? Was he like pinching his fingers and rubbing his fingers together when he said that?
Mm-hmm. He was making motions to indicate the length of a certain facial feature and the lack of length of a certain genital.
Is it? I thought it was the anyway. But I think you and I agree that it's like closure. It's like, they shut the book finally after 10 years. Like, not that you and I were like sitting for 9 years going, dang, I wonder what happened to Dexter.
No, but anytime I did think about it, I'd be like, man, that sucked. Like,
yeah.
So.
Because it was a show that was very much in decline, and I think what happens is like it's like when you date somebody and then you get into a real shitty relationship and then you don't see them for 10 years, and then you like suddenly think about the good stuff, and then you forgot, so then you just hook up with them,
and then you end it by killing them.
You have them, you shoot them in the middle of the woods, and then throw their body in and kill them. So yeah, I think I would give this season a 6 out of 10. Becoming the very thing your podcast was about in the end, unfortunately and ironically. What rating would you give Dexter New Blood? Also, I missed the opening credits. I wish they had the opening credits, like a remake of them. But I did appreciate.
Yeah, I was a little sad that they weren't there, but
I did appreciate the end credits, the way they did those cool sort of big fonts and stuff like that. And I gotta say, when I was watching the final episode, I listened because they kept the original music from the original series for the finale, and I watched it like twice, the final end credits, just to know, just have that feeling of an ending of a show. Anyway, what rating would you give Dexter New Blood?
Yeah, I give it a 7.5. I liked it more than you.
Okay.
A 7.5 out of 10. 7.5 out of 10. Somehow, perfectly preserving bodies in an underground bunker. I don't know how you did it.
It's cold over there, right? Was it cold over there? Is that way?
I mean, it's cold, but you got these bodies for years.
You don't understand. He had the green-haired girl's body there, right? Half her face was blown off. Mm-hmm. He had to look at a video screen grab of her face. I'm like, the other side of her face is right there. You can just look at it. It's like the whole face is gone.
Yeah, but faces aren't perfectly symmetrical. Anyway, I liked when he was trying to make the cast of her face too.
Right,
he was a good villain, I have to say. I
liked him. It's Clancy Brown. You gotta go big when you have Clancy Brown there. And I liked how he punched her and then she turned into a plastic dummy. That was a funny part. Anyway,
he's a good villain. He's good at being a fake nice person. Anyway, so 7.5 out of 10. Perfectly preserving bodies for years, inexplicably, using maybe magic powers or something.
With that, Danny, what's the final word?
Come back next year to watch Michael C. Hall play Harrison.